Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Sock it to me.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, and pulled the curtains here, so I'm not getting that ghost effect on my face. We'll see how that works. Now it looks like I'm sitting in a dark basement somewhere in Lower Lithuania, plotting a world takeover or something. I'm not quite sure. I will blink at random intervals to let you know that this is not a coded message. I'm not sure if that's actually a good idea either. Anyway, no, it's normal. Everything's normal, perfectly fine. It's just the randomness of the open mic night. And with the open mic night, we have our regular peanut gallery with us, Mr. Mike Walters of the Mic Stand. Mike, how you doing?
All right. How about yourself?
Yeah. Well, like I said, a little tied up in here, so probably will be an hour show tonight. And then we have Mr. James Lee, creator of the Steins, on sale now. That is the longest name that I've ever had anybody see. But how are you doing, James?
I'm doing good.
And those two things I mentioned, the Mic Stand and the Steins, are both linked below. So if you ever want to check these things out during the show, please feel free to click on those links and subscribe, read up on, make orders, send money. Those are the best things in the world. So Disney Plus has been doing another one of those Marvel shows, and this one's called What If? So tonight we're going to say, what if Mr. Hoppe joined us to talk about the show on the open mic night. Hello, Mr. Hoppe.
Hello there, RJ, and how are you and the thousands in attendance doing this evening?
You're on the wrong channel.
You're also looking at the wrong spot.
Yeah.
They're not behind you. They're in front of you. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, okay. Well, I thought maybe you saw something past me that I didn't
Oh,
see.
goodness gracious. Even with the cataracts on the eyes? No, RJ. And also, before we kick off anything else, I have one quick question for you, good sir. Do you think that you operate from a lair or a headquarters? Inquiring minds need to know.
Definitely a lair.
So it's a lair.
This is a lair. Yes.
Interesting. Does this lair happen to encompass a volcano by chance?
Well, it is on top of a mountain, so
gotcha.
There could be volcanic activity in it. But yeah, headquarters happen to have more modern technology. This is definitely a lair where we MacGyver everything here out of spit and baling twine.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I figured the way Mr. Hoppe was describing it, it reminded me more of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, Birdman and the Galaxy Trio. Birdman with who had the volcano, and then the top of it open up and he fly out.
Yeah,
so.
any volcano you can open the top of probably isn't a problem.
For sure. And basically in today's time, we are living in the year 2021, I think. So basically the reason I brought that, because it's really a double-edged question, because villains live in layers, right, RJ? And heroes are in headquarters. So we have to ask the important question, ponder it, if you will. Are you a hero for the people, RJ? Are you a villain? But this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you live, because, again, I'm trying to be extremely silly, and I think my jokes are falling flat.
I believe the Blue Falcon, hero of the people, resided in the Falcon Lair.
Yes.
So
that should tell you something. Because Dr. Doom lives in the lair, but the superheroes, especially the Justice League, they have a headquarters.
But Blue Falcon was a hero. He had a lair, so I think
But
heroes
remember,
can have
it's
layers.
just us leaving.
And also, I believe, as I recall from the Challenge of the Super Friends series, I believe they called the Hall of Doom, a headquarters as opposed to a lair.
You're wrong, Mike.
Well,
You
that's
should
all there is
fact
to it.
check that,
Oh,
Mike
yeah,
Stans.
it's called Evil Lair, wasn't it?
I'm bringing a lot of spice today because due to the contract obligations with this particular broadcast, you made me watch all friggin' 6 episodes of pondering the question of what if.
Of what if? What if
And
they'd made that?
boy,
a
oh
good show?
boy, I'm
More than
spicy.
that, I'll say that.
What's
What
that,
was
sorry?
that, James? You need to go ahead.
You've seen a lot more of that than I have. So
Oh, ponder that question even more. I think I lost the bet somewhere. I'm not quite too sure.
I read all the books, and I'm talking about the original series. You know, the good stuff.
Yes.
And that was back when, you know, the book was like, let's take a pivotal moment in Marvel Universe history where
Yes.
a decision was made and
Yes.
say, okay, this coin flip went a different direction. What happens?
Exactly.
the
Disney
death
says,
of Stacy, that was the one I remember.
oh yeah, he saved Gwen Stacy. Don't
The
do it,
bloody-
Spider-Man. I remember the cover. Whatever you do, don't do it.
Yeah. And I remember my favorite what if issue. What if that involved the Inferno saga that took place a long time ago? So
Oh,
that was a lot of fun to read through. I think it was what if Wolverine grew a set and basically came over as a head goblin person or something along those lines. It's been 20 years? So
No, it's almost 30.
yeah. Thank you for making me feel old, new person I haven't met yet. So
No. But you're talking about Inferno.
well, you did. You
One of my
did make me feel
favorite
old.
Stories of X-Men. So that's, we have Marilyn Pryor, the Goblin Queen. Who by
Wait a
rights
second. One
still
second.
has the slap the hell
I'm the co-host today. So the thing
are?
is that it doesn't matter what you liked. It's all about me.
Oh no.
I am so kidding. Oh yes.
Oh yeah, we have a
According to the
host that
contract.
focuses in the windmills of his mind.
He's a co-host. He is kidding, but
Yes.
he is welcome here. He's one of the ones that can get away with that. He's welcome here.
Everyone's
Everyone's
always welcome here, apart from Testify.
so
What the hell is this?
Everyone's always welcome here, apart from Testify.
so
Okay. Sure.
if you don't know, you don't need to know.
That's right. I don't need to know. I'm
That's
old.
Comedy Martin, though.
I don't
Comedy
care.
Martin's a great show.
Obviously, I came on this show for the high caliber quality of broadcasting, and we have interruptions. RJ, you have to talk to your people because I am on the Critical Blast show, right? This is where I'm at
Yes,
currently.
you are.
Thank you. I thought it was my brain cloud syndrome really kicking in and overdrive. And fighting the cottage cheese
dear
brain
Lord,
stuff. And
no.
who's this person? And why are they interrupting me?
We cannot bring in Marmalade to mediate any conflicts tonight. He's asleep.
All right. I'll try to cool down a little bit. Apologize to all the different other peoples who are not co-hosts of this today's show.
But the books were always that whole a choice was made differently, and Disney's like,
Yes.
what if Iron Man was an alien? Like,
what happened if Steve Rogers was a spineless enigma?
yeah.
We must know.
What happens if
What
Peggy
if?
Carter gets the serum? Well, how would that have happened? It was
Don't
not in the
get
sequence of the
started on the first episode, fresh out of the box, like pooping in a toilet. My God. But before we get into the critique of the first 6 episodes, do we want to talk about anything else first? So I'm not rudely interrupting our other friends and colleagues here this evening.
Let's see here. Mike did a thing Friday on his show.
I don't believe you.
Oh,
Well,
but he did.
what I did was I actually kind of did an in-depth, kind of commentary and reading on Action Comics #1, as I've been continuing my historical comic retrospect with Fat Goat. We're made now. I know that there's been some
Controversy.
some discrepancies because a lot of sources seem to say that the I guess the copyright date or the on sale date was April 18th of 1938, but the source I used says it was approximately May 3rd of 1938. So
Did you quote the source?
The source that my main source is a site called Mike's Amazing World of Comics.
There you go. So you can't be held accountable if the source is incorrect. Correct?
Yeah.
Well,
that
particular site that I use more for helping to organize my coverage and stuff. Like, but yeah. So basically, I went through some notes for aside from that, of course, I went through some other notes aside from I focused primarily on Action Comics #1 because that was, of course, the iconic comic. Everybody remembers the cover of Superman ripping that car apart.
Yes, he was having an angry day that day.
Right.
Yes.
Well, okay. So some of the other interesting notes that around that time for DC, one, an artist by the name of Fred Guarnier, went over to DC from Ultem Publications, which eventually became Centaur, and he took over the Speed Saunders and Pep Morgan features. He's also credited with creating the Zatara feature, Zatara the Master Magician. Also, as Superman was making his debut in around that time, the cover date June of 38, at least from my knowledge, on sale date May of 38, Action Comics, Superman was making his debut. Dr. Occult was making his final Golden Age appearance.
Yeah,
gotcha.
He disappeared for a long time.
Mike, I have a quick question for you. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Mike, I was going to say, yes, I do have a question for you, Mike. Person with a red hat here in the back. Basically, has anyone told you that your show is wonderful and very informative through today's broadcast yet?
Not in so many words, but I mean,
I'm pretty sure someone will.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. I mean, I know you did a while back. How
I'm saying in this broadcast today, has anyone said that yet?
Oh, I don't think we've had time to yet, but I'll
this is true
because Mike does this deep dive into the Golden Age, and he's been doing it
exactly.
He dived so deep that he's just now getting to what everyone knows or thinks is like the beginning of comic books was Action Comics #1 when Superman first appeared, because that's the first real superhero with a cape. And Mike's like actually no,
as they called them back then, Mystery Men.
Yeah,
as they called them back then, Mystery Men.
Yep. And
actually, Dr. Occult
superheroes is trademarked. Superhero
I did not know that
word. Yes, in fact, it's a shared trademark between DC Comics and Marvel Comics.
Isn't that interesting?
Marvel owns super-heroes, and DC owns superhero.
Superheroes, gotcha. Honestly, that explains a lot. I didn't know that on today's broadcast.
Yeah,
and now Disney owns those.
Now have them challenge somebody on it in court, and I don't think it'll win because it's just too common in the parlance today. But yeah, they have
awesome.
Yeah. A couple other notes in regards to Action Comics itself that I came across. Originally, the Superman story. Originally, they tried to sell it back in 1935, but Superman was not a hero at first. He was a villain at first when they first wrote the Superman story.
It was a short
as
story,
a bald-headed, right?
Yeah.
Where he was like, and this theme might sound a little familiar to you. They basically depicted him as a bald-headed, megalomaniacal villain bent on world domination.
Yeah, they made him. He was
familiar.
Yep, and then they reused that title after the death of Superman, when the other Supermen started showing up, and they called it Reign of the Supermen,
Right.
to pay homage to that title. Yeah, it's going to get hairier from here, Mike, as the superheroes start showing up now, because
Yeah.
Superman was so successful that everybody and their brother had to have one, and there were lawsuits galore.
Shazam
Well, yeah,
and Captain Marvel.
I remember, I remember reading a little bit about the whole thing between DC and Fawcett Comics over Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
There was that too. Let's see. What are some other interesting notes from there? Also, for that first, okay, so DC decided to take a chance on the story because they were a little concerned about a potential lawsuit, because Superman, as he appeared in Action Comics #1, was reminiscent of a protagonist in a Philip Wilde novel.
Oh yes, Gladiator.
Yeah. So so DC decided to take a chance, and if any lawsuits come up, they would have just dropped the feature. No lawsuits apparently came up because they were concerned that he was somewhat similar to him. But
well, Superman was a mashup. I actually do a panel presentation on this that I developed for my Toastmasters group, and then took it on to conventions after that. The Men Before Superman, because he's a mashup of Philip Wiley's Gladiator, Hugo Danner, and of course, Doc Savage, who was the Man of Bronze, who had a Fortress of Solitude, and who you had to look up and away to the 88th floor of the Empire State Building to see him, where his office was. And of John Carter, who was a strange visitor to another planet where the lesser gravity gave him the ability to leap tall buildings in a single bound, and he was stronger than the rest of the people on that planet.
RJ, you're telling me that another person
the
John Carter? Unheard of.
John Carter is
the interesting thing too is you're talking about the mashup and
stuff.
Mike,
you're over talking James there. I know we can't hear him clearly on the mic, but we gotta. I'm trying to pay attention so we can get him in there.
Am I in trouble?
What's that? What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just you have. It's almost like there's a pillow over your mic.
All right, hold on. I'll have to fix that. Just say. What I was going to say is John Carter is probably one of the oldest superhero type characters ever created, because he was made by the same guy that created Tarzan way back before there was comic books.
Yeah, he was the first of those three that I mentioned, and I think he's the very first who was pretty much super powered, given that kind of an origin. So if anybody ever had a chance to sue, it would have been John Carter. I would have thought that the Burroughs estate to have done that. Well, here's a what if for you. What if Siegel and Schuster had walked across the street, metaphorically, and taken their Superman title to Timely?
Well, the only thing is, Timely didn't come into existence till 1939.
I could have waited a year. They waited 3.
Yeah, well, that's true. That might have been interesting too. The thing was, what you had to also think about too, Siegel and Schuster, and I've mentioned this before too, even before Superman. And I mentioned this on the episode too when I talked about it. Even before Superman, Siegel and Schuster were probably considered one of the more prolific duos of that time period.
Oh yeah.
They were basically publishing 5 features over 3 books. Producing 19 pages of content. Okay,
they were the Stan and Jack of their time, but they were kids. I mean, literally, they were kids. So they were being taken pretty much advantage of.
I mean, they had Slam Bradley they had Slam Bradley, which was 13 pages in Detective Comics, as well as Bart Regan Spy, which was 6. That's 19 pages right there. They had Federal Men with Steve Carson in New Adventures, which was 4 more pages there, and then you had Dr. Occult of 4 pages and Radio Squad 2 in More Fun Comics. You had to, they were, as I said, they were producing 5 features over 3 books, 29 pages total. Okay, at that point, and then when Superman debuted, it went up to 42. Even though Dr. Occult left, he basically they stopped publishing his stories, so it still remained 5. So for 1 month, they had actually produced 6 features over 4 books for 42 pages. It's like 7 pages per feature, if you think about that, which is quite a bit of work. But even though the Dr. Occult feature had ended, right? The 4 pages that were dedicated to Dr. Occult were actually added to the 2 pages of Radio Squad, and Radio Squad became a 6-page feature.
Gotcha.
Now,
Just as a time check, we're 25 minutes into our broadcast.
Well,
just as a time check.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, there are a couple other. There are
I thought it was strictly on 60 minutes.
Are we good? We're gonna have to get the moderator in here, aren't we?
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh, is that better?
Yeah, actually.
Well,
it is.
okay.
Oh yeah. Much.
I'll try to finish. I'll give the main points here. So one of the other trivia tidbits that we found out and Batgoat even so that first Superman story, Siegel and Schuster were paid $130 for that, plus we're given a contract to supply newer material.
Which, by the way, was a lot of
Batgoat did
True.
Well,
but no
I'll
auxiliary rights with that.
Batgoat actually did the calculation on the inflation calculator. So $130 back in 1938 there, today would have been $2,522.
Okay. So
that's how much it would be today.
It's nice.
The whole Superman franchise, $2,000. Hey kids, come on down and write some funny books with us right here in the old DC assembly plant.
That's why Superman is disappearing again. He's taking off, and John Kent is going to take over, and John Kent has a whole different origin. John Kent is gay. Oh yes. And you know what John Kent's best superpower is?
I've got no idea.
He's royalty free.
Oh,
you don't have to pay the Schuster.
We think this now.
Well, it's kind of funny because one of the other things they had talked about was how Siegel and Schuster ended up being in a pauper state, and the lawsuit that stemmed from them trying to get more money and stuff like that, and I guess Warner Communications had ended up giving them lifetime pensions of $35,000, and now with any property with the original Superman characters.
This is the problem you have even with modern comics today.
Among other things,
creators do not know how to deal with attorneys. They don't know how to deal with their properties, and they sell them away. They do stuff away for little or no money.
Yep. And on top of that,
why
do they know attorneys? Because they're all artists.
Anything you see televised with the older Superman properties now includes a credit created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster by special arrangement with the Jerry Siegel family. I'll try to wrap up here real quick, just with a few quick little notes from what I read itself. Superman was not the same kind of Superman that we probably grew up with, because he was doing a lot of stuff there that was, considered unconstitutional. He carried a couple people in his arms like that. One of them a woman bound and gagged, and and then the other guy, he
Yeah, but
now
you're talking 1930s. You're talking 1940s. Okay.
Physics.
Every time somebody takes something from back then and tries to do modern technology or modern this, it's not. You can't do that, because if you're going to do that, then we go back to the 1800s, the 1500s, and we start going, oh, look how racist this was, or look how bad this was.
yeah,
But the laws were different, the times were different, and it doesn't work.
right.
But they do it anyway. They do it to J.R.R. Tolkien.
What?
They do it to Lovecraft.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, they do.
But
Zippity doo does.
Yeah,
that one.
okay,
Song of the
And- and-
South.
and-
Yes, I know. Yep. Hoppe, you're dead right.
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so
It was a wonderful day back then.
This is
So
what-
with that,
Yeah.
one of the other interesting notes about Superman, and this will probably be the last thing I say on Superman, then I'll just talk real quick about the
Oh
other.
no, it won't.
No.
Initially, Superman did not have full flight. It was more
Yes.
of a leaping ability.
Yeah, he was a leaper.
Yes.
It was he could leap
He's a
an
jumper.
8 mile. Yeah, he could
Well, he
leap,
did like the
and you
Hulk.
could even see that in the story there, where it looks like he's more like it's more of a long leap.
Yeah.
So
And according
Now-
to DC Comics answer man Bob Razakis, Superman learned he could fly when he was in mid-jumped and basically saw something and tried to change direction.
RJ, you're
mid-jump
getting a
and
little
could.
choppy there.
I heard
Everybody
you.
else hear me chop out?
I heard you. You're fine.
I heard you.
Okay. It's yeah, he basically was in the middle of a leap and he had to change direction and did. And as soon as he did that, he's like, I can fly.
Yeah, I mean,
Holy kryptonite! We're on our way.
but
Oh, and that's another thing too. One of the points that earlier on I went through, like the powers and abilities of some of the characters. Kryptonite. So Superman was affected by kryptonite of Earth 2, but other Earths, kryptonite wouldn't affect him.
Well, it
So
didn't even show up till the radio program.
Yeah.
now,
um,
when you're talking about artists and families basically not getting any money, like with the Schuster families like that, the one guy who knew what he was doing, because they're still paying that family a lot of money, is the creator of Wonder Woman.
William
see that.
Moulton. William
I can
Moulton
He was
Marston.
brilliant. He was a brilliant guy, because you have no idea how many millions of dollars they had to pay him for those Wonder Woman movies, for that family.
I did
He
not
was
know
also
that
a
first of
college-
all, I didn't know he had a family.
Yeah,
He had two mistresses
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah.
Well, he had a wife. He had a wife and a mistress,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of bondage fetishes.
Oh yeah, but I'm
there.
just saying. But when it came to the contract and everything like that, they had to pay him so much in royalties and everything. He had it
Yep.
set up. He
And
was
also
There were some
not
people who
like
did it.
And
the
also,
other-
correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the person that, who created Wonder Woman also a college or university professor as well?
Yes, he was. He was a
Yeah.
he was a psychology professor, I believe.
Yeah. So the thing is, that he knew his shit.
yeah,
before
exactly.
to a contract obligation. Unlike the rest of some of the artists, kind of go,
Well-
yeah, I'll
Well,
work for hire. Yeah.
But you're right, Hoppy, on that one. A lot of artists,
Hop.
even today, are like that. They have no idea how to.
No, they
recontract.
don't. Yep. You're
And
absolutely right.
This is what I always tell people. You create something, go get it copyrighted.
Yes.
Well,
They
now
offer-
he
they
knew
offer
how
you
to
a
read
contract.
contracts.
Don't read it without your attorney sitting there with you.
Yep. Exactly. Lots of
that's
data
number
handling.
one and number two.
Well, first of
Yeah.
all, Charles Moulton. I'm going to go with the pen name. He knew how to read contracts because he had patents.
Yeah.
The guy who created the lasso of truth is the guy who has the patent on the
Lie detector. Yeah.
So
Um,
that's his little device that
Yeah.
you can't use in court, but everybody still keeps one at the local police station. So
Yeah, but I mean, it's
Um,
when you
yeah.
have somebody who knows their stuff, you're not going to
Yeah.
you're not going to rip them off.
the people who did Peter Cannon Thunderbolt, they also retained rights on that kind of thing because that's I forget how I know this, but it's one of the reasons why he didn't show up in I forget, but they did. All the Charlton characters became DC characters, but he had to be licensed. So
Yeah,
hey,
and that's
George.
that's like Predator right now. Predator is in litigation because the owners of it want it back, and they're not willing to sign anything. And they gave Disney 3 years advance notice, and Disney didn't do anything. And now Disney's trying to fight them to keep it, and it looks like they're going to lose. It looks like Disney's going to lose.
What's about?
This is. I don't want to interject with this, but the thing is that I think you're wrong, and I'll tell you why. There's an old saying that I have: if you can find a lawyer to play with you, can you get a judge to play ball? Because what it comes down to is that do the Predator boys have enough money to bring this to Superior Court to protect their IP? That's a very good question to ask, because basically, as far as I can tell, the whole Predator Court thing is taking place in Los Angeles or something like that. Super long story short.
San Francisco.
Yeah, so basically, long story short, for sure. As I was trying to say, the details are a little bit fuzzy. But long story short, Disney has a lot of pull where they plan to have their court procedures. So the judge is already in the pocket of Disney out of the gate. And I personally,
so you're saying if
that was
that's
the
true,
thing. Disney didn't get it moved to Los Angeles. It was rejected.
It was rejected. Oh, that's awesome.
Yes,
okay.
It was rejected. The judge in San Francisco said no. Now, here's the other thing about Disney. They've got 12 other lawsuits against them for not paying royalties.
Yep. It's Disney.
And it's class action lawsuits.
You got to write the checks.
Lawsuits, because you get multiple people into the lawsuits, make the fines much bigger.
Oh, yeah. No, I completely agree.
Trouble.
Yeah, but hold on a second, guys. In California, there's a really wacky law or procedure where if, as an example, if Disney infringed on my characters, on my copyright, they have the option to sue me in advance of me suing them because I would come after them. Yes.
Well,
yes.
George,
Wow.
And I'll give you an exact reference. You know that guy who did that tardigrade video game that Star Trek Discovery stole. Well, Star Trek Discovery sued him first in anticipation of him suing them.
Yeah, and what happened at the end of the day? Do you remember?
Money, and resources won over justice.
Exactly. And on top of that, what happened to the auxiliary rights? They went back to
this is the difference with the Predator case. Disney knew it was coming for 3 years and didn't do anything. Then the owners acted. So Disney didn't do anything thinking they wouldn't do anything, and they did. So now Disney got caught basically with their pants down, and they're trying to rebound, and everything's getting shut down on them. The judges are not playing ball with Disney.
That's awesome.
So
I'm really glad
the
to
only
hear
thing
that.
that's coming out right now is Predator most likely will go back to the creators because it has passed the 20-year mark. It has passed all legal. Disney did not do anything to secure the copyrights of the IPs, and now they're basically upheld, and the owners have already filed to get them back.
All right.
Which by law they have to give them back.
I think Disney will be fine.
Yeah. So a couple of the other two stories that I read in Action Comics #1.
Whoa!
Were,
wait!
We're going back to that. No, wait. Let's move forward.
I didn't finish because you guys kind of took off in another
A
direction.
full hour, Mike.
I thought you were on your last.
On the Superman part, there were still a couple of things from Zatara and Tex Thompson I wanted to mention. I was trying to get finished as fast as you can, and then James and Mr. Hoppe took off on me there.
We thought we switched trains, man.
Yeah, we switched everything. I mean,
Yes, Mike.
you had done your Superman thing. We were moving on.
But
Yes.
everybody, the link to the mic stand is right below too, though. So you should go and watch that whole episode so you can get the full, because it was an anthology. Action Comics was an anthology with a lot of stories in it. But we
also-
do got to keep moving here because we haven't even got to the title of the episode, which is
And on top of that, Mike show is absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely wonderful. It's really in depth that Mike goes into when he's talking about all the different pop culture, comic book lore from time periods long gone. So Mike's a great show. Highly recommend it. Watch it as much as you possibly can. Give me
And as regards what if, James Hayes in the chat pretty much sums this up. Says Disney doesn't understand the characters or respect continuity. They are arrogant enough to think their scriptwriters are better than the comic book legends who are just cashing in. I don't think he meant the comic book legends are cashing in. I think he meant Disney
no.
just cashing in.
I completely concur with that statement, fully and honestly, because the writer from What If, goodness gracious,
I heard it was bad, but I didn't think it was that bad.
oh, bud, you have no idea. It is.
I thought the
I tried to
animation
watch
was
the
bad.
first
The
one,
thing
and I
is
got
that-
halfway through, and I said, "That's it."
Yeah,
Because
well, exactly.
he
See,
came out
you
in the robot, I was like,
you tapped out. I'm under contract. So the big thing
No,
is
no,
I had to
hold
watch
on,
them
hold
all.
hold on. When Steve came out in that robot, I was like, "Oh, I can see a lawsuit coming from this."
Oh God.
Wait,
Because you
what?
know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I do know. That's
I
a
was
funny
like, "Ooh, there's going to be a lawsuit on this one."
if you don't mind, can you explain to the rest of the class what you're talking about?
Oh,
Yeah, because I have no idea.
yes.
Go, James.
No,
Go, James.
You go ahead. I'm going to let you.
Oh no. This is your play. You got this nailed down. I don't want to
I
interject.
can't
because I
remember.
find-
I can't remember the comic book that's from. I want to say it was Stargirl and her dad, wasn't it?
Stargirl and Stripesy. Stripesy's her stepdad. Yes.
Yeah, her stepdad. They stole that
It's the
robot.
exact same.
It's the exact, complete copy. I
They
mean,
stole Stripe?
every
Yep.
note and
Except
bolt
for
is
the
a
arc
complete
power
robot.
generator in the front.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sitting there
It's
going, like,
horrible.
"You gotta be kidding me!"
Yep.
They blatantly stole that.
It's
Yeah,
what if.
exactly.
It's what if.
Well, exactly. What if there's a lawsuit between Warner Brothers and Disney? That would be awesome. And also, just to put a final nail on the whole Disney aspect of things, they're one of the few things I enjoy about the internet, besides the series of tubes and cats running everything, is that it really brings out the corporate evilness that these corporations involved with. Like another thing as well. I'm pretty sure that members of the panel may or may not know this, and of course, details are always a little bit fuzzy with yours truly due to my horrible, poor eyesight. But long story short, the writer who had ironclad contracts with 20th Century Fox, but Splinter of the Mind's Eye, Return of the Jedi, and everything else like that, and Disney has just stopped paying them royalties. And to make things even more eviler, especially from this corporation that no one likes to quit on, is that both the writer and his wife, which I can't remember the name, so I extremely apologize. If anyone in the chat wants to throw in here, that'd be totally awesome. But however, they're both suffering from cancer. So they need these royalty payments to basically pay for their health bills. And Disney's going, nope, we're not going to pay you.
Yeah,
What?
Disney's excuse was, and if I'm correct me
Yeah.
on this, Hobby, we
Yeah.
bought the IPs, but we don't have to pay royalties because the books weren't published under us.
James.
Yeah, exactly.
James.
So basically, anything that flows in from the contract from 20th Century Fox, so we don't have to pay any of that or heed to any of those actual contract obligations moving forward. Especially in the. Thank you. Awesome.
It's Hop, not Hoppy.
I'm sorry,
I
Mr.
thought it was
Hop.
the same.
That's okay.
The first time I saw it
Yeah,
written, I did the
That's
same
like
thing.
if you've noticed that if you look at the films on Disney Plus when it comes to Star Wars and stuff, they have changed the covers.
Yep.
So they don't have to pay the artist royalties anymore.
Oh yeah, Disney's a fucking scumbag company through and through. And as a fan, I'm finding it more and more difficult to support Disney moving forward with all this stuff. Like as an example, when The Mandalorian came out, I was really on the fence watching the last episode with good old Luke Skywalker and his laser sword stuff, blah 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 blah. But long story short, the second season, I don't care how good it is. I am not going to watch it. I'm not going to support it.
I mean,
I've
third
canceled. Is it third season? Thank you for correcting me.
Next
third
season.
Yes, the next season, even better.
I will be-
I have zero chances of watching it because I do not plan to support the Disney franchise moving forward, especially because on the whole Star Wars thing, until this particular set of circumstances is taken care of. Because my biggest thing is that if someone is suffering from cancer and they need the royalty money to pay for those hospital bills, him and his wife, no.
Yep.
And I'm hoping a lot of other fans do the exact same.
Yeah.
And regardless how good the next Mandalorian season is, or any other Star Wars stuff moving forward. But unfortunately, we both know that Disney's like the Chinese buffet. You know it's horrible.
You get some
You
ptomaine.
know exactly. And the thing is, you keep going back for more because it's so yummy. Meanwhile, it's full of MSG, sodium, everything else like that. But people just keep eating it, and they won't stop. And Disney knows this.
Well, first of all, I want to say that James is missing an opportunity here to put a Stein's avatar on his StreamYard. So, James, get on that, man. Secondly, now that Disney owns What If?
Yes.
Is there a potential that we can get, what if the last 3 Star Wars movies didn't happen?
Oh, Jesus. I think the fan base would be happy. I don't think that Toys R Us would go out of business because they bought heavy into the whole Star Wars franchise. Because if I'm not mistaken, basically, what was it? Toys R Us took out a major loan or something like that, and they were expecting to do Star Wars movies just to make up all the money like they usually have done in the past with other Star Wars projects and so forth. And it failed.
Nefarious is here. Nefarious, you should
Hey, you're back.
Exhausted after the convention.
Welcome to the party, Bennett.
And George, I don't know how long you were sitting in the back room there.
No. I just got here. I had to reboot my computer.
But yeah, like you were talking about
That was
Star
fast.
Wars, they botched that. Oh man.
Oh, they did. And they're going to continue to botch it. And the fans have short memories. And basically, this is to just stick it to Disney saying, you know what? We're not going to watch your stuff. We're not going to buy your products until these basic fundamentals have been taken care of. That's it.
But
Well,
they
the problem is they got this one guy over here, Favreau,
Yep.
that keeps pulling the fans back.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if they ever get rid of Favreau, Disney, the Star Wars community, the Star Wars thing will completely collapse in the garbage.
Yep. I agree.
You know the problem with Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, is that the people that watch the shows actually know more about the show and the characters because it's a way of life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're heavy in the Lord. They're fans.
Yeah,
They know
it's
this stuff because they addedly invested.
No, hold on a sec. There's a difference between being a fan, a fanatic, and someone who actually adapts it to a way of life.
No.
People have gotten
medication?
married in a TARDIS, dressed up in Star Trek.
Here in
dressed
Little
up in
Rock,
Star
there was
Wars.
a lady who went on
this-
jury duty, and she declared the legal right and won to wear her Starfleet uniform on the jury.
Yeah, if something is a way of life, you're long past all these labels that they give you. There's no label for someone who adapts the culture of Star Wars as their life.
The thing about Star Wars,
What
Star
do we have
Trek,
here from the
Doctor
fans?
Who, Marvel and DC, it's the same thing. The people that are in charge of that have no love or no respect for anything of those characters or that universe.
Yep.
They don't care. There's no care. There's no love. There's no respect. When you're given something, and I'm going to say this real quick.
Yeah.
You can look at DC Comics right now. They're hemorrhaging so bad it's not even funny. But when you're given a title,
Same thing with Marvel.
No, DC's worse. DC's in a whole lot worse shape. If you haven't heard, their books.
We're talking about the publishing arm. Right? We're talking about the publishing arm, correct?
Yeah, comic books. DC's in a whole lot worse shape.
You're really breaking up. What was that? Sorry.
DC is in a whole lot worse shape than Marvel.
You think
is right
so?
now.
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh, I know so.
Marvel
Their
has
books were held up for 2 weeks because
fall
of the
back
printing, and their credit wasn't. They had to take care of their credit problem with their printer.
Oh gosh, that's problematic. Yeah. Jeepers
Yeah, that's
creepers.
okay.
Yeah,
you-
yeah. As an ex-publisher. Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, as a company, the driving goal is in any company, I don't care what it is to be profitable. And and DC and Marvel have completely lost that. And when you lose that, your company, no matter how long or how good your credit are or what you should, will suffer and will crumble and collapse. Now, I am really worried. I'm not as worried about Marvel as I am DC. DC right now, they could fix it, but I guarantee you,
Jim
with the new owners, because they got new owners. They're not owned by AT&T anymore.
They're owned by the
And
Discovery Channel now.
Right, but Discovery's a European company that is profit first.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Jim Lee came out and said everything's fine.
What are you talking about?
Jim Lee says
The
it's
guy's just
fine.
a figurehead.
I'm being very silly. I'm being extremely silly, by the way.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing from Jim Lee, but I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Jim Lee goes, everything's fine. You're fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, he's the figurehead. He's the guy.
Star Wars
He's
reference.
Baghdad Bob.
Okay, but here's what's going to happen.
Burning building.
Same thing that happened last year. They're going to have their virtual DC universe
Oh yeah,
okay.
That's going to be
thing that's going
awesome.
to be comic book related is going to be Jim Lee's portfolio review. Everything else is going to be movies or TV or cartoons.
Yep.
Then 2 weeks after that, you will see exactly what happened last year: another mass firing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to be
make the cuts, and the cuts will be deep and down to the bone this time around. Maybe they'll pull the copper wire out of the buildings.
Look what happened last year. 682 employees were terminated on the same day.
Oh yeah, the bloodbath is still continuing.
And it's going to happen. It's going to happen again.
Yeah,
and they're going to get
and
down to when they start getting profitable.
Yeah, and basically Starfire having a new child to try to get new readers into the whole DC mythos. That went over really well.
Yes,
Dumpster fire glows. You can see it all the way up here in the north. Eh?
People are trying to return the book. It was so bad.
I wish them luck with that. We like to return this product.
I'm not serious.
Why?
That actually happens in comic stores.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just right now. You have a situation, and DC is.
Did you say a situation? That's funny.
Their situation is this: they lost 85% of their readership 6 years ago, or 7 years ago.
Well, at least there's still 20% left.
No, I don't think they got 20% left. They keep trying to get this fictitious group to buy comic books that are on social media that don't buy anything.
Of course not. And the best part is I heard that they're going to actually now virtually publish their comics altogether moving forward.
Oh, no, they've already signed with Webtoons.
Oh, that's awesome. So, you know what? We don't need any physical mediums. You know, we'll just make it all virtual and give it away for free.
They're ran over to Webtoons. You know, this is, and then they raised their prices to $5.99 an issue. $6
for a virtual comic. I think that's amazing and wonderful. You know, it's sort of like buying air in a jar, minus the jar now, and you got to spend the $10. Money, please.
I've seen people spend more than that for a ghost in a jar.
Yeah.
Yes, without the jar.
Ghost in a jar.
You know, it was just like it was like I tried to watch that debate, or whatever you want to call it, last 2 nights ago between Ethan and what's his name. And
that was less of a debate and more of a long civilized discussion.
Well, yeah, but the things I got out of it from not Ethan but the other guy was, oh, that book wasn't written for you. That book wasn't written for you. That book wasn't written for you.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Who's it written for?
Who's it written for?
It's just audience that doesn't like to pay for anything. Oh, wait. We're going to digitize it and put it online. Book's not written for me. That's great. So you know what? I'm not going to give you my money. And on top of that, I'm going to tell 10 of my friends not to buy your shit.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck. So who is this book written for?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
There you go.
Who is it written for?
I'm telling you, it's Tumblr people. I don't know.
Krabby Jazz takes the opposite.
All right, what we got here?
Opinion on this one. Krabby Jazz says that debate was more of a long dragging of a fat man in New Jersey through the muck.
That whole debate was unnecessary. I even told Ethan on stream. The guy was just bringing up bullet points and quotes that happened weeks, months, years ago.
You could tell he had the bullet points because they were telegraphed gotcha questions. He's like,
yeah, I know.
So you're saying you've never said this before? Because I have it right here.
You know, but no, it's not that. It's the whole thing is Comicsgate relevance, right?
Exactly.
That statement and would suggest that you'd be talking about forward thinking. There was nothing forward thinking about the whole thing.
No, there wasn't. No.
How many people popped on an Ether Van Skyver's podcast there. I'm going to say a
Hate is
lot.
magic.
So you ready for
1500
this?
when I got in
My
there.
new friends. So you ready for this, my new friends? Who really won that?
Oh, Ethan had the numbers.
Yep. Ethan won that because basically every time Ethan Van Sciver is mentioned, Cyberfrog is right behind that. And you too have to buy the 8-inch figure that's coming out from Ethan Van Sciver of Cyberfrog. Who won that?
No, you're
I
right.
am so impressed
You are
with Ethan's
right on that.
thinking. Like, I am so impressed with Ethan's thinking because he has people who are pissed off, to borrow a Christian saying here, 7 ways from Sunday to come on his show. Wait for it, for free. As he collects the super chats, and on top of that, any endorsement for any of his projects or anyone else as well, the whole Comics family. Like, who wins? Who wins this? Did you ever hear Ethan going, "Hey, person who's opposing me in this debate, I'm going to give you $1,000 just for showing up today. I really appreciate your input on this, your point of view on this. You brought some really great points. Here's some money for you." Do you ever hear Ethan saying anything like that? Nope. Because these people, they're stupid. It's getting back to our earlier conversation with Mike. When it comes down to it, these people are not knowing what they're worth, and they're being broadcast in front of the millions and millions of Ethan's fans. My God. The reason why I do this show is because I like RJ. Okay? As an individual who's involved with the media, I know how much I'm worth. And I see the monies come in from super chatting. And if I'm sitting there going, "Oh, look, this broadcast brought in $5,000 because of my name," I'll be going, "I went 10%. If we can't do it, I can't do the gig. But we'll pay you an exposure. I've got radio and television." See ya.
As you can see, we've had 0 super chats come in tonight. I will gladly give you 5% of that.
Careful.
Wait a second, though, because
People who are watching this broadcast, please note that RJ said he would give me 5% of any super chats that come in. So please donate heavily towards the Critical Blast publishing arm of things, especially for this wonderful broadcast, because every dollar that you give helps an artist like me to eat the next day. For $15 a day, I could buy myself 5 different meals at McDonald's.
Yeah, because that's an American nickel off every dollar. So that's
right. So we inflate that as Canadian, which
is
is about 25% more.
Yeah.
Well, I had recently started using the Critical Blast site as another source for news items.
Thank you.
Awesome.
When I'm doing my newscast during the week. So,
you know what we haven't talked about tonight?
What's that?
What if?
And everything just went dead, conversation-wise. Anyways,
Still see you, Mike.
What if for a second when we talked about the
no, I meant conversation-wise. I said that, and then everybody went silent, but it wasn't a technical issue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We do need to get back to it, though, right? I mean,
see, Ethan took over this stream.
Well, we're coming up in an hour mark, RJ, and you said you wanted to keep it within an hour.
I know.
Oh, we're all on
crap.
RJ's.
Now I've got to send.
Yeah.
Now I've got to send money to Mr. Hop. We got $5 Canadian. This donation has been made by Justin Blackface.
The episode was called "What If We Ever Got to What If," which we never got to. What if?
Yes. But we're talking about other what ifs, so it all still falls part and partial with today's broadcast. What if Disney was less crooked? What if Ethan Van Sciver paid for people to be on his show? What if the comic book industry was less, how can we say, snowflake-ish when it comes down to today's subject matter and other things on those lines? Because one of the reasons why I got into comic books, just to be very super brief here, is that they were a collector's item. And the thing is, if you bought a number 1 back in the 90s and it went up in value, you had an asset that you could use for a loan or loan against, whatever the case may be. I am so surprised as a former fan, as a former comic book publisher, that no one's actually really talking about that anymore. They kind of go, well, this book's not meant for you. Hi, 90s thinking from a consumer perspective. I'm not buying your product. Bye. And now we talk about DC stuff.
At the same time, they're putting out a new #1 of Captain Marvel every 4-7 months.
Exactly.
Well,
Look at all those.
They're not worth anything. They're not worth the junk bond paper they're printed on. So kids today kind of go, why should I buy a new product? Oh, because we're writing good comic books?
Where are you selling them?
Well, that's the funny part. You don't have to go anywhere. You can see the whole world from outside your window on your computer screen. As a matter of fact, you could sidestep those. You can sidestep the whole read. You can sidestep all the nuances in between points and just read this free.
Your Canadian
We
internet
the
is on
comic
loop.
industry support our local comic. We support industry.
RJ, are you hearing that crackling too?
Yeah.
On
Yeah,
his-
he's breaking up bad. Yeah. Mr. Hop, you're
Is he?
breaking up really bad now. Your
No!
Canadian internet is going into a...
No, I'm such a risk. Oh God, I'm so sorry, gentlemen. But
That's
super
all right.
long story short, the super long story short here is that comic books have lost sight on what they should be publishing and who they should be selling to. They have.
Yeah.
And the industry is showing that time and time and time and
In
time
an
again.
attempt to
Because when's
broaden
the
their
last time?
audience, they left the audience.
Yep, exactly. Which is great 4D chess playing. We're saving our comic books for the next generation of fans. Oh,
No.
how much does this cost? Oh, $10. For what? For a comic book. Oh, how many pages? Oh, only 4, because there's going to be like 15 pages of ads in there.
Yes. I never got to say thank you to Robert Roberts for that super chat. So thank you, Robert. I do appreciate it. We get
Thank
them
you.
so seldom that it is an event. But here's
you're
a
right.
negative $100 super chat, which means I owe Krabby Jazz $100. What does the panel think about
Jesus.
eggs on burgers? Yes or no? Absolutely yes. Yes, I love
Yes.
the fried egg burger that I get at Denny's.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Charlie.
So
I've had fried eggs. I've had steamed ham on a hamburger.
that's actually
Steamed
ham on a
ham's not
hamburger.
bad, yeah.
No, I'm
That's
saying
hamburger.
seriously. It was really good. It was actually at McDonald's in Japan. You got beef and the steamed ham and cheese.
Wow.
So yeah.
So it was a Royale with cheese. No, wait, that's a different,
Oh, goodness.
totally
cheese.
different movie reference.
Yes.
It seemed like there was something else I was going to talk about, but it must not have been what if related because
I don't know. I lose track. This is a very
I
good
do
vibe.
know
we got
this.
going
Well, I
on.
mean, I could finish up with a couple quick notes on what we did on Friday, but
please do.
All right. In the Zatanna story, there was an editorial issue that came up. So in the dialogue, they'd said he was turning the Tigress's gun into a bullet, but it didn't turn into a. Apparently, the art didn't reflect that. It didn't turn into a bullet. It turned into a banana.
Oh yeah.
I missed the 30s. That was
That's
so
when people don't
yeah.
read the script
And
just
then,
all the time.
and then in the and then Tex Thompson, there were like 3 very distinct parts of his career. There was the first part where he's basically a plainclothes rich boy adventurer. It was his time as Mr. America, which started up in Action Comics 33. And then there was his time as Americommando, which started up in Action Comics 54. So I just wanted to get all the notes in as much as I could, but
Yeah,
kinda got
totally
sidetracked.
understandable. I have a question for the current panel of things. Could someone please tell me the 6 different episodes by name that we've currently gone through with the What If series?
No.
Anyone?
What's that?
I haven't watched. I don't really watch much current stuff.
What's the
Episodes
question
by
again?
name of the
What?
current What If series.
Am I really breaking up here?
I-
You
No?
are.
You're kind of crackling here and there.
Okay, basically,
I
what
can
are
look this up.
the names of the 6 different episodes that Marvel has produced with a What If television series?
I'm pulling it up right now because
Awesome.
IMDb is our friend.
Cool, because basically I got rapid fire through the 6 episodes. I just want to think this correctly.
Ooh, this is bad.
What's up?
Marcia Lucas, which is George Lucas's daughter, just released a statement, and
no.
is she pissed?
You may read this.
Read it.
You may read this, James.
Read it as we're basically getting our show notes together here.
Okay, you
gotta
just
start a
get
show
ready for
sometime
this
tonight.
because it's a doozy.
Okay.
All right.
You heard it
I
here
like
first. folks.
Kathleen. I always liked her, says Marcia Lucas. She was full of beans. She was really smart and really bright, really wonderful woman, and I liked her husband Frank. I liked her a lot. Now that she's running Lucas and making movies, it seems to me that Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams don't have a clue about Star Wars. Hold on, there's more. They don't get it. And J.J. Abrams is writing these stories. When I saw the movie where they killed Han Solo, I was furious. I was furious when they killed Han Solo. Absolutely.
Now James is
There
getting
was
choppy.
no rhyme or reason to it. I thought you don't get the Jedi story. You don't get the magic of Star Wars. You're getting rid of Han Solo. And then they end on the last one, The Last Jedi, with Luke disintegrating. They kill Han Solo. They kill Luke Skywalker. And they don't have Princess Leia anymore. And they're spitting out movies every year. And they think it's important to appeal to a woman's audience. So now their main character is this female who's supposedly to have Jedi powers, but we don't know how she got Jedi powers. We don't know who she is. It sucks. The storyline is terrible, just terribly awful.
Who said this?
You can quote me. J.J.
Lucas's
Abrams
daughter.
and Kathleen Kennedy, talk to me. That's her statement.
Give us a link in the private chat.
And also, how long ago was this written, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, I don't think we got all of that because you were pretty choppy there, James. At times.
I actually heard.
I heard him
he said.
fine. I
It
heard
was
everything he said
posted on
too.
Twitter. I can send you I can do a photo shot of it and send it to you.
Well, was this done today or a few days ago?
Just now.
Oh, really? Where was the fire in the belly when the episodes 7, 8, and 9 came out? I guess Indiana Jones must be doing really, really poorly for someone to come up with that.
Must be. I have our list, by the way.
Awesome.
I have.
Cool.
I have our list. First one.
Thank you. First one.
What if Captain Carter were the first Avenger?
I thought that episode completely sucked because it's like, hey, let's take Captain America movie, all right, and let's cut it up and replace the main character with a new character. Great, and let's really cuck Steven Rogers as much as we possibly can.
Of course.
Awesome. And on top of that, let's rip off the giant robot from Stargirl. Throw that in there, and we'll call that a production.
All right, wait a minute. You missed the whole concept of what if, right?
Yeah. Well, what if was supposed to be, a decision that was a coin toss went the other way.
Yeah. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
But this one wasn't quite that much of a coin toss as much as it was.
It's Marvel stepping up to the plate and saying, "Hey,
you
guys,
completely missed the concept of what if."
Well, I have it. That's the best part.
Hitting on what if is completely what would I say? Not unnecessary. It's without merit.
Oh well, yeah.
I think that a lot of the stories that have come out in the first 6 episodes from What If are horrible in every way, except for the second episode.
The stories literally mirror what from the comic books, right? You understand?
No,
that,
they actually marry from the actual movies themselves. And the thing is that
movies are irrelevant. This is what if.
The thing is that this is what if based on Marvel Cinematic Universe. As my opinion may not be
no, but an opinion is one thing, but to actually shit on a concept that has no connection, no merit, it's ridiculous.
I disagree.
I disagree too.
I know you disagree. And a whole bunch of other people are getting their panties in a bunch for what? oh, hey, you know what? What if is a concept of, what RJ said. It's a coin
I'm gonna
toss.
try
Sure.
something here.
You don't like the coin toss? Wait until the next episode.
I'll be
did.
right back.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I know you did. But
yeah.
you still don't understand what the hell is.
No, the thing is that I
Why
don't
is
think
everybody's mic going
and I
fuzzy tonight?
do. It's what's his name is Mike. That's being very,
They're
very
all
fuzzy.
doing it.
Is my mic going fuzzy?
Not now, but but George's mic is going crazy. Your mic is going in and out. Not in and out either. It's just like there's hornet.
I
noise
just-
in your
I
microphone.
just simply rebooted to see if that, because there was a point there where like everybody sounded like everybody was starting to crackle and
Yeah, you were getting a lot of crackle that I wasn't hearing. I remember that. So something was going on with your reception here. Maybe there's something going on with mine as well. But wow, it's
No,
it's
you're coming through clear.
weird audio tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway, this stuff does have a bearing on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, though, even though it's what if, because guess what? It all leads into the Doctor Strange multiverse of madness, and it all leads into the Spider-Man No Way Home, which is all multiversal what if stuff. So this stuff is a springboard into what we're going to see in the movie.
I mean, we had female Thor in the comic books. We had
Did you like Captain Marvel? Seriously, did you like Captain Marvel?
The movie Captain Marvel?
The Marvel, yeah, movie Captain Marvel.
No, it was a terrible story.
Awesome. But the thing is that other people enjoyed it. How can you say it's a terrible story? How could you be?
No, because I'm not basing it that they actually ripped off the.
Well, the thing is that I'm looking at the
You're not
narrative
listening.
that's actually taking place.
You want to talk over me? Fine, talk over me. But if you want to talk to me, wait until I finish talking, would you?
George.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I thought the Captain Marvel movie was terrible. It wasn't because of their wokeness. It was terrible because of the story. The story itself had many plot holes, and it wasn't put together as expertly as I would consider it as every other product that they put out there. It's not because they're not following the costume or the concept of the comic book. Nothing. It was just the story itself. I didn't. I didn't take into a factor of Brie Larson's, ideology. It was literally the story that it was poor in its execution.
Although her ideology did poison a lot of people in advance.
Well, that's their problem. For me, it was. I just looked at it as story merit, nothing more, nothing less. The visual effects were amazing. Everything looked great. It's just there were so many plot holes in the story. It didn't make sense. I mean, I've seen many movies that had a lot of plot holes, and they're right up there with Captain Marvel.
I found Captain Marvel bearable. I didn't find it exciting. I found it bearable. I was like, it's a movie.
Well,
I found it to be an
on Captain Marvel.
horrible movie.
Well, this is what I thought about Captain Marvel myself. I thought it was like watching the second act of a 3-part story, and it was the first part of the second act that left it wide open. It was there was not much of a story there. It would have been a whole lot better if they had started off with the reason she's having memory problems was Rogue knocked the living hell out of her and
but
did
then
something
we
to get her
needed
powers. They didn't do that. You had all these open things like this, and it was just okay, and then it's done. And it was really quick. It just did not. The movie didn't flow good. It was a short story they used. It was a weak story they used, and it was just like I said, a part 2 of a 3-part story, and it's the first part of the part 2, and you didn't get the finale, and they cut it off too soon.
Yeah. Well,
I personally didn't like how they shoehorned everything around Captain Marvel herself. As a matter of fact, Captain Marvel's middle name happens to be Avenger. What?
Well, yeah, her call sign on her jet was Avenger.
Yeah, and on top of all of that, basically Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury character becomes a complete cuck. Example, what happened to his eye? Oh, I got scratched out by an alien kitty cat. Okay.
That's a pretty badass cat, though, because it's an alien.
It's orange from the 90s.
All right. What if T'Challa became a Star-Lord?
I
Thanos would
liked
simply be
this
talked out of snapping his
particular.
fingers.
I pretty much liked this episode because the voice actor who does Black Panther, this was his last gig for this particular production, and there was something that was really cool about this. There's a lot of stuff I didn't like about this, character treatment wise and stuff like that, but overall, I thought that this was an okay episode. I didn't like the treatment of Peter Quill at the end of the episode, just because I just really thought the writers just threw the character away, and I didn't like that.
I think I think the counterpoint to this episode would have been Peter Quill getting adopted by King T'Chaka, who has been looking for his abducted son.
That would be awesome.
and then Peter Quill becomes the Black Panther.
That'd be a stretch.
Or the White
well,
Panther.
I also.
But the
think,
thing is,
you know,
overall,
since they were doing Thanos in this one, and Thanos gets talked out of doing the finger snap from, you know, logic. We logicked our way through this one. I think a great what if episode might have been, you know, what if it was the other half that disappeared when he snapped his fingers? I mean, you know, how do you save the world with the Avengers left over being the ones that were gone rather than the ones that were left behind? You don't have Iron Man, you don't have Captain America, you don't have Thor. You have Spider-Man and you know, the people who you know, you have Spider-Man,
Doctor Strange, Hank Pym, Miss Pym.
Yeah.
I personally thought the connecting tissues from the different stories and the characters really connected well with this. Again, just what George was mentioning before, there was a lot of liberties that was taking place with the different characters that were there. Like as an example, with oh god, I'm having a brain bubble. That's fantastic. With Thanos, I didn't quite like his character treatment in this, especially he's supposed to be the Mad Titan, etc., etc., etc. Like I know that basically he was talked out of finger snapping, but there is a lot of different baggage that Thanos carries with him. So
yeah,
I thought that was questionary at best, especially with the character's back history the way it was. Because again, with Acella, he just talked him out of, you know, stop chasing the Infinity Gauntlet and stop chasing the gems, blah, 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 in between. I thought that was really wonky, but as a whole episode, I thought this was good. And it was pretty decent. I liked it.
Third of 6. What if the world lost its mightiest heroes? Nick Fury struggles to launch the Avengers when candidates are targeted by a serial killer.
Yeah, that was cool.
Didn't like this. I didn't like the ending. Oh, pretty much. I didn't like the ending. I really thought that they took a lot of liberties with the characters. And this particular one, as I said before, with Thanos, there's a lot of back history with all of this. And the thing is that when it was relieved who the killer was, it's like, oh my God, there's a massive line being drawn here. And I think that a lot of who these characters were in the old story didn't affect the storyline at all. So again, I don't like this.
I have a production question. Because I've seen trailers for this, and you know, I know it's all animated and everything, because God forbid Disney spend the money to get the actual actors to come in and do these things. But what do we think of the animation? Because I'm not impressed.
I'm not impressed either. I really thought someone said, "Hey, that Spider-Verse thing, can we duplicate that from Sony Productions?" Oh, we can. Awesome. Okay, we'll use something like that moving forward. It was just rotoscoping in between stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be right back.
Okay, this is animation from Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
Lion King. This is like, you know, this is like getting a hamburger from McDonald's. They're supposed to know how to make one.
Yes, within seconds.
Yeah, but you what you don't see, or maybe you don't appreciate, is that this animation's technique is very much what the Japanese are doing, and that is they're keeping everything as simple as possible, keeping the animation in the foreground, while the backgrounds pretty much are static.
Well,
and you can see a lot of the static imagery in the background where people should be walking and talking and moving. You'll quickly notice
It looks to me, George, like a better drawn, slightly higher value, slightly higher tech design
Horribly cheap.
version of When Captain America Throws His Mighty Shield.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you know Disney's got problems when they outsourced the Star Wars animation stuff to Japanese companies.
Yeah.
Okay, all the new Star Wars cartoons that are coming into Disney are all outsourced to anime manga guys. Disney's not doing any of it.
So
And
maybe
Disney's
this is
also
a
outsourced.
contract deal.
Go look at the Marvel stuff. Disney's not animating that either. This new stuff that's come out with What If, that's not Disney. Disney's not touching it.
Next episode, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? He'd be dead. Next episode.
I got it.
No comment on that one.
Yeah.
I
didn't like this.
No, I mean, I have no
I
comment. I
didn't-
mean, it's like your heart's gone, you're deader than doornail.
Yeah, pretty much. Thanks for coming out. See you next episode. I didn't like this one either.
Pass
I
your card
didn't
in,
like
you're
how
done. There's your train.
the-
Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Like the thing is, that
Sharon's
the
waiting
whole,
for you on the dock.
yeah, the whole journey, their world falling upon itself. It's sort of like, I don't know. I'm not really big on anticlimactic productions, and this was definitely anticlimactic. And on top of that, if the What If world was very similar to our world, except for a couple of twists here and there, where's the rest of the other heroes in the Marvel universe? While their whole universe or world's collapsing upon itself,
They don't know
nowhere
yet.
to be seen.
They-
So
they-
it's sort
they
of
don't
like,
own them yet. Marvel Cinematic Universe can't go X-Men, Fantastic Four yet. Although
no,
that'd be-
the thing,
that would be
I'm not,
weird to use What If
I'm not
bring 'em in.
looking at the Fantastic Four or the X-Men. Let's just focus on what Marvel's produced, which is the rest of the Avengers. Didn't show up. Spider-Man's part of that on a part-time basis. Didn't show up, and it's sort of like, okay. So basically, Thor with Asgard and the rest of that stuff. Who cares? Again, when it really comes down to this particular production, was an anticlimactic ending. I wasn't really impressed with it. I really thought they should have gone back to the drawing board with this. No pun intended. Again, just wasn't super impressed with this.
Episode 5. What if zombies? Now, this is basically the.
I
the-
was
the Marvel
on
zombies.
board with this until the last 5 minutes of this production, where I kind of went, really? Okay, sure. Why not? It's the same writer for a lot of these productions, and I really thought that this particular writer really took a lazy way out to conclude this episode, and I went, "This is dumb." I'm not impressed. So it was good until the last 5 minutes.
And then 6th episode, which by the way is not the last. There are more episodes to come.
Oh, of course, we're in the halfway mark.
Yes. What if? Oh, this one just excites me. What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark?
Huh?
My critique for what I just said about Doctor Strange really falls perpendicular with this one as well.
Yeah.
Things
You
were
know,
okay. There's a plot that
that-
was going on. Things were making sense. The last couple minutes of the production, it's sort of like, well, we're going to end this production. Have a great night, everyone.
I mean, what if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? It's sort of like, to me, what if Steve Rogers was the bus driver for Peter Parker's school route? It's just
Exactly.
it doesn't jive me. There are no titles for the next ones. However, there are a couple of images for the next 3. 1.7 has no image. 1.8 looks to be Shang-Chi.
God.
Yeah.
What if Shang-Chi knew martial arts?
That is funny.
But he doesn't have to know martial arts. He's
What
got
if
10
there's only
rings.
9 rings versus 10?
Yeah, what if there were only 9?
Exactly.
What if they were the Infinity Rings?
Oh, that's even funnier.
What
Yes.
if Shang-Chi threw gold rings and Sonic the Hedgehog ran through one of them?
I would enjoy that. That would be funny on all optics.
I would like that.
I have a hedgehog who could run supersonic through rings, and he's blue. Yes, it should pay me.
Done. Write him a check. And then episode 1.9, the last one, there's an image here of Star-Lord and Gamora. So I'm going to guess that Gamora didn't die in this one. What if Gamora didn't die?
Well, she didn't. If you notice, she's back. So
Yeah, pretty much. From
Wait a
from
second,
a
she's
parallel
back,
universe.
or she's back?
no, you didn't. You didn't see Endgame?
I saw Endgame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she went right past him, and kicked him
Exactly.
right in the balls.
Yeah, the past Gamora is the new
Yeah,
Gamora.
she's around.
Yeah,
Oh, the one from
basically
the past came to the future. Oh,
You got
okay.
it.
from,
So she's
from a
around.
different timeline. Yeah. So that's how
a
they
unique
saved
way
that
to solve
character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like-
pretty much. Pretty much. And of course, Thanos dies from this as well, which basically brings a whole paradox, of course, in the forefront. What if Thanos died in Endgame? Would the rest of the timeline still move forward the way it did?
Oh,
Or maybe there's more to the story that we're not aware of yet.
I got one for you, Hope.
What's that?
What if the one above all decided to put a stop to all this madness and wipe out everything?
Yes! There's a
I like
bookend on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thank goodness. After 30 movies, it gets done. Sweet. Basically preserve that in carbonite and call it a day.
I really wanted the one above all to fix everything at Endgame, and I wanted it to be played by Stan Lee.
Oh, that would have been priceless.
If
That
he'd
would've been awesome.
always been the one above all, watching everything through all those movies, because we know he's the same person.
But wait a minute.
Not just the same actor. He's the same person
Yeah.
in all those movies.
But wait a minute. Isn't it at the end he's sitting there with the Watchers?
Yeah.
He's not at the end, but there is a scene where he is sitting with the Watchers. Yes, that's why
And
it would've
he's
been
not
perfect.
on
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah,
He's
he's
not
in
on
a
Earth.
spacesuit.
Well, I mean, in Guardians of the
so-
Galaxy, he was on another planet.
Yeah, so what is Stan Lee in these movies? That's the question.
It's never
What
been
is-
said.
I think he was on.
Because-
I think he was on the moon. I think.
But I'm saying he's not on Earth. He's in a suit. He's talking with all the Watchers, and the Watchers are paying attention to him.
Yeah,
And there's
and
three
he's
of them.
telling them. And this
There's three of
one
them.
time, I was a FedEx delivery driver.
Yeah,
Looking for Tony
but yeah,
Stark.
so he could have been the one above all the whole time.
I don't.
He could have taken the gauntlet, snapped his fingers, and totally recreated the Marvel universe with mutants and fantastic astronauts.
And who knows? That's not coming.
Well,
They'll have to
well,
digitize
the last snap. I mean, you only know the some of the effect. You don't know the whole thing.
True.
I mean, the last snap could have brought the X-Men universe into the Marvel universe.
Well, the
It's quite
rumors
possible,
are Storm's
or-
going to show up in a movie, and Rogue is going to show up in a movie pretty soon.
I hope so. Oh, guys, I told Mike before we started the show that I wasn't going to go over an hour because my throat is sore. Fortunately, y'all have talked enough where I didn't have to, but I am going to bring things to a close tonight.
RJ, can I have a
Awesome.
few minutes? Can I have a couple minutes with you after the stream?
Always, but just a few. So, guys, appreciate showing up. Mr. Hop, good to see you. George, thank you for taking
was
advantage of the
wonderful,
call-in link and coming
Mr.
in
Hop.
on us here.
My computer's been acting up all day. I mean, this is barely.
Thank you
what I
very
can
much.
do. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, your mic's also very staticky when you talk into it, but only when you're talking into it. So maybe there's a Canadian internet problem going on, and I'm saying that seriously because you both are in the Kitchener area.
Well, I think they want us to start taking COVID tests, so that way, if you're not vaccinated, you can't use the internet because viruses.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
you got
I
to
can
be
totally see that.
vaccinated.
But yet, SpaceX is launching the mini satellites for internet service that won't be interrupted.
Yeah,
by
but they're all
government
rich
officials.
people, so they're all rich people, so they're immune to any viruses moving forward.
They're also immune to any
Oh,
anti-privacy
did
laws.
you see that ridiculous press conference that Congress did or something like that? They're right in front of the cameras and they're thinking, okay, before the cameras turn on, let's all put on our masks.
Oh,
The
I've seen
cameras
that.
are already on. Yeah, I saw them.
Yeah. I've seen that played out dozens of times. Cameras are on, cameras are off, cameras are on, cameras are off. My favorite is the one where all the teachers are lined up behind the students, and the students are wearing masks, and the teachers are all next to each other with no masks on.
Well, if you thought that wasn't a bioweapon, well, now you know. This bioweapon is intelligent.
Can't hear you.
It only
Can't hear you,
works.
George.
You can't hear me?
You're
No,
driving out of
can't-
range, good buddy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Can't even make out a word you're saying, George. Sorry.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry about that. But guys in the chat, thank you for showing up. Appreciate you being here. Don't have a
Thank
show
you
without you. And
for having us.
we will we'll be back next Sunday with another open mic night. Hope to see y'all then. Till then, we just hope